So, okay, now we've started recording as well. So again, let's just hang on for another minute and then we'll begin with our session. Okay, great. So I think we can now begin. And then anyone who wants to join can join us through our conversation, and we'll keep recapping for anyone that comes in. And we'll definitely have a refresher at the end. But thank you everyone for being here today, our audience and our panel of guests included. So today we are here to talk about BITS Pilani School of Management. So BITS is a new global MBA education program in India. And we are joined by the head of admissions and outreach, Mr. Kishore, Mr. Narottam Kishore from BITS Pilani. And we're joined by three students, Shreya, Vivek, and Nikhil, who come from very diverse backgrounds from architecture, tech, and engineering, to give us an overview of their experience at BITS so far, everything they've learned, and everything they're going to do after. And we're really grateful that we have this opportunity to speak from both people in the administration as well as people who are students, because it can help us inform our application as well as our decision to finally attend the school or not. And that's very valuable. So I will now hand over the mic to Mr. Kishore, who can introduce himself and tell us, and also introduce BITS and tell us about this exciting new program and everything that the School of Management has to offer. So Mr. Kishore, over to you.
Thank you, Varnika, and good evening, everyone. As an introduction to introduce myself, my name is Narottam Kishore, and I'm head of admissions at BITSoM. I joined BITSoM almost more than 2 years back when BITSoM was about to getting launched. So December 2020, that's when I joined BITSoM. But before joining BITSoM, I was working with ISB, Indian School of Business. I was part of admissions team over there. I had handled program as well as handling experiential program at ISB. So at ISB, I worked close to 8 to 9 years. And I'm an MBA graduate from ISB. So I did my MBA from ISB in the year 2008-9. I'm an undergrad, I am a BCom honors from Delhi University, from Sri College of Commerce. And yeah, my industry experience, I worked in the consulting industry. I worked in logistics, manufacturing company. But over the last 10 to 12 years, I'm working in the education sector. And that's when I find that's my kind of dream job, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my role. But yeah, here I am, and I'm looking forward to get in touch with you. In terms of this program, BITSoM, and this MBA program that we launched almost 2 years back, it's a new B school promoted by BITS Pilani. Now, we all know that BITS Pilani has 4 different campuses across the world. So they have a campus in Pilani, second campus they have in Goa, third is in Hyderabad, and fourth is in Dubai. Now, all these 4 campuses are engineering programs. They offer engineering programs in all these 4 colleges. Now, there's a 5th campus that has come up in Mumbai, and this 5th campus offers only management education. So that's what this 5th campus in Mumbai offering MBA program, and that's what BITS School of Management is offering this MBA. And it's part of BITS Pilani, which means that once you graduate from BITSoM, you get an MBA degree by BITS Pilani. You become an alumni community of BITS Pilani, and you become, a BITS Pilani alum community. The uniqueness about this program is that in the curriculum, I mean, you'll get to know more about our students who are there in this session. They can share more details about this curriculum and the pedagogy. But I would say that the uniqueness about this program is the curriculum and also the faculty they will bring in, because most of the faculty that we are bringing are visiting faculty. They come from different B schools across the world. They come and teach. And after they finish their course, then they go back to their, schools where they come from. So we have faculty coming from Wharton Business School, faculty coming from NYU Stern, faculty coming from Kellogg, all such business schools. They are coming, they come, they teach the certain courses, and after they finish their courses, then they go back. So in a way, the kind of learning that we are looking at by going outside India, getting a top quality education, you can get top quality education in India. So the philosophy behind BITSoM was that, I mean, we all know in India, a lot of people want to get top quality education, and because of intense competition, they go out and get this top quality education outside India. But we realize that there's a immense need for this quality education in India, and that's what BITSoM is trying to cater to that need, because we believe we can offer this quality education in India at Indian price, and that way you'll find this proposition highly attractive. And we will get to know more about this program and the curriculum as this discussion progresses. But yeah, I'm looking forward to get in touch with you and interact with you. And if you have any questions, feel free reaching out to us, and we'll be happy to answer. So that's in brief about BITSoM, BITS Pilani, about myself. And we have 3 students. Maybe Shreya, Vivek, Nikhil, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'll go first then. So I'm Shreya Jaiswal. I'm an architect by qualification. Post that, I immediately joined BITSoM to pursue an MBA, and I've done my, so we'll be completing our MBA in another month or so. And I've done my specialization in marketing and e-commerce. For my internship, I was working with Aditya Birla Group as a part of their group internship program. And I've also secured a job at the same place. So I'll be joining them from June as a part of their leadership program. So I look forward to having this conversation with all of you.
So, hello everybody. I'm Vivek Jani, and I completed my BTech in Electrical Engineering from Pandit Deendayal Petroleum University. Post that, I joined BITSoM, and currently I'm specializing in marketing and strategy. I interned with LTI, Larsen and Toubro Infotech, as a digital consultant, and I've secured a job at MXV Consulting as a strategy consultant.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nikhil Kumar. I did my undergraduation from BIT University, Vellore. Post that, I worked as a consultant at PwC, and I have close to 4 years of experience. And I've joined BITSoM post that, and here I'm specializing in leadership and strategy and finance. So as part of that, I've done my summer internship at ICICI Asset Management Company, and I'll soon join PwC as a senior consultant in their management consulting division.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your introductions, and thank you, Mr. Kishore, for the overview of the college and the program. And now, since we have students here, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask them what their everyday at BITS looks like. So what is your I don't know if there is a regular day at BITS or if there isn't, but everyone could tell us about what they do on a typical day and how their classes look, their activities look, how do you manage your time, and such things. So please start. Shreya, you could go ahead.
Sure. So I think, like you rightly said, I wouldn't say there's a typical day at BITSoM, because since we follow a block methodology, like Narottam mentioned earlier, so for every 2 weeks, we're only focusing on one core and one elective. So while that may seem like you get a lot of time for doing other things, I don't think that's completely true, because since you are like trying to cover an entire subject within 2 weeks, you do have to give like your full attention to that. And at the same time, you're also trying to build up on extracurriculars. You're trying to focus on new skills. And you're also at the same time trying to get to know more people, because you need to network with your own batchmates, with the juniors. So in that sense, for me, I think a regular day would be, I really like to get up early in the morning and get in an hour of exercise. So I try to do that on most days. And followed by that, I'll probably just head soon to campus. We have a shuttle service also. We have a really nice staying facility, which is just 5 minutes walking distance from our campus currently. And I think then it's regularly a day full of classes with breaks, and post that also like the general group discussions or some other activity, be it a club event, a committee event, or some kind of celebrations on like specific days. So those things come in and about depending on the time of the year. And I think that's by the time you get back home and you're ready to lie down on your bed to rest, you're probably exhausted for the day.
That's really nice to hear. And since you spoke about your campus, perhaps the next person, Vivek, you can tell us more about the campus, the location, and all those things, along with, again, your typical day.
Yeah, okay. So our temporary campus is currently located in Hiranandani, Powai. It's in Hiranandani Knowledge Park, but we are on our way to Kalyan on at a permanent campus, say next year. And my typical day would be attending, say, core courses and a wow course. After that, I'll come home. Say there's a cricket match, so we can book turf, and also I'm the Gen Sec of cricket club. Sorry, sports club. So we'll book turfs, organize events. There are other clubs as well. So marketing club, currently marketing club had a competition called Brand Bait, so I participated in that. And as Shreya said, that when we come home we are all tired and all, but then we have to get ready for the next day, for and that's when you read cases as well to get prepared for the next day. So yeah, all in all it's very hectic, but very enjoyable as well.
That's really nice. It sounds like there is just a perfect split between your core academic activities as well as extracurriculars, which are equally helpful for you and your future steps. And booking turfs and doing all these practical things on the ground for something that you're passionate about sounds really fun. And Nikhil, please now tell us what your day looks like and what you are up to at BITS and what you learn.
Yeah. So I think Shreya and Vivek have pretty much summed up a typical day. So, but just wanted to highlight that. So it's not just about the curriculum here. So it's a 360-degree development that is being focused. So we start off with the previous night, we would start doing our cases and then assignments. So we have study groups here. So we all come together. So, and as a result, one it would, so we have a diverse profile, so as a result we get different perspectives. So we do team building activities, and then next day in the morning, like, we attend the classes, and then in between we try to do, if there is time, we also try to do some assignments. And then in the evening it is free for us, so there are a few sessions organized by various clubs and committees. So and we could probably attend. So these activities include, some are fun activities, some are career talks, something on those lines. And after that, like Johnny mentioned, we all have some time to cool off our brain. So we just go out and play a few sports like badminton, cricket, and and then have a sound dinner, and again get on with the assignments and periods for the next day. So it's not just about curricular. So it's not just about curriculum and studying. It's all about getting a 360-degree development into this. So that's how our typical day is.
That's really nice to hear. It also sounds like that through these sports activities and other clubs, there are so many networking opportunities. And like Shrey also said, you just get to know students at the end of the day after your classes. So that sounds really reassuring, in fact, that you get to go and actually build a community. And then, as Mr. Kishore had pointed out, it's not just the MBA program, but you have access to the entire BITS community. So that's quite massive. So since you've spoken about your clubs and such sports facilities, I wanted to ask you more about the rest of the facilities that are a part of your MBA program, such as competitions. We know that there are live projects, which are a really unique feature at BITS. So if you could tell us more about that, maybe this time we can go from Nikhil and then back.
Yeah, so actually, competitions is something I can really relate this to. In my first year, I was taking part in few competitions in the beginning of the year, but we didn't have any seniors to guide us, so I was clueless, and I was trying to understand where I was going wrong. So I personally went and reached out to our dean as well as the academic team. So I got a really good, help from them. So I got I got a contact from through my dean, who we were able to reach out to, and then he shared a lot of thoughts. Also, we hosted a session on campus on how to crack these case competitions. And after these sessions, we were able to hone our skills we got better with our presentations, with our analysis. And me and my team won. He even went on to win couple of competitions as well. And there are students in our batch who have won multiple competitions in various B schools. So that is one big support that we get from our college. So they are readily helping us to better and improve ourselves.
No,
So
that's
yeah.
sorry, I've interrupted you, Vivek. But I was about to, I just wanted to comment on how it's really special to be able to be a part of an institution in the early years because you have so much more access to your deans and administration who are really personally invested in your success and career. So that's really reassuring. And sorry, Vivek, please go ahead and tell us about more facilities that are available at BITS.
Yeah, so after Nikhil covered the competitions, I might as well cover the live projects that are going on here. So we have two kinds of live projects. One is the social live project, where you can intern with various NGOs and make a social impact. So I interned with Pratham, where we were helping storm affected people in Odisha, setting up their businesses, street food vendor business model. So we helped 57 people set up food stalls for litti chokas and momos. So that was one thing. And the second part is the corporate life project. So there you'll help different companies on various projects, understand their problems, and find a solution so that they could implement it in their work. So in that I work with Porter, where we were identifying different strategies so that they could move into outstation services. So Porter is a logistics company, and we were helping them with that. So these things helped me secure a project with Toolbox India as well. So currently I'm working with Toolbox India, and I'm helping kids in Uttar Pradesh to get quality education and healthcare services. So yeah.
Wow, thank you for this overview. So now we've heard about the projects and competitions. We would also love to learn more about mentorship opportunities or centers at the school or anything that you'd like to tell us about, Shreya.
All right. So we do have like a mentorship program as well, because like you said, we're a small community and I think everyone is personally invested in every single thing that all of us do. So in the sense that when we started out in the first year, so as Jani mentioned, we did not have seniors. So it was a little scary place to be because you don't know whom to approach per se. But our admin team, our dean, then Leena Chatterjee, she's one of our professors here. They've all been like a huge support. And they also basically planned out a mentorship program for us where about 8 to 10 of us were mapped to an industry leader who was either recently into the space, like a younger graduate, and also like senior people. So by that, through those smaller interactions that we had, and we met them like, in fact, quite a few times, 3, 4 times over the year, and they really helped us pan out an entire program. They made us think, what is it that we really want to get out of these 2 years? What is it that we want to do after 5 years? And how are we going to plan our trajectory according to that? So that was one side. And another thing was something known as a PDP, which is a personal development plan, in which, so this was hosted by Leena ma'am itself. She's a star and she's been doing it at IIM Calcutta for a very long time. So when she retired from there and joined BITSoM, she's done it individually for each of us, where we learned about our own personality types and how we could, in a lot of ways, curate our own life, both professionally as well as personally, through this personal development program that we went through. And I think it'd be safe to say that it has helped a lot of us in many ways.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, all three of you, for your really comprehensive overview of what it's like to be a student at BITS. Now, I think for this session, so first I'll do a small recap for any new attendees. So till now, we've discussed what a typical day at BITS looks like, and Mr. Kishore has given us an overview of the program. For questions, we're receiving some questions in our chat box. Anyone who has any questions throughout the program, please put them in the chat box and we'll pick them up at the end of the session for 10-15 minutes. And now we will shift to a part of the program where we ask Mr. Kishore, the head of admissions and outreach, what BITS is looking for in a student, and to give us an overview of the application process, to give us an overview of the class profile. Even the students can join in on this. And yeah, just what BITS is looking for in a student. And as someone who's applying to BITS, what should I look out for and what should I present in myself so that BITS notices me?
Sure. So when we evaluate application, we generally evaluate applications on, we try to identify 3 different themes. Now, the first theme that we're looking at is academic ability, whether the person will be able to meet the rigor of the program, because it's a highly intense, highly rigorous program, because we have this block teaching method, and block teaching method puts you on a lot of intense pressure while you're going through different courses. Now we want that confidence that person should be able to meet the rigor of the program. So we need to be reassured that whatever curriculum that they go through, they're able to handle that curriculum. So essentially, we're trying to understand whether the person will be able to meet the academic rigor of the program. So how do we figure that out? The way we figure that out, we try to look at the academic history. So what they have done in class 10th, what they have done in class 12th, what kind of performance they have done in undergrad score, what is their aptitude test score, because we accept CAT, GMAT, or GRE. And if they have taken any one of these tests, and if they have completed their bachelor's degree, then they are eligible to apply. So essentially, your academics in terms of your class 10th, 12th undergrad, as well as your aptitude score, these data give us some ideas that whether the person is academic capable to handle the rigor of the program. So that's one thing that we are looking at while evaluating applications. So that's one. Second thing that we're looking at, that any kind of leadership exposure, leadership skills, leadership traits the person has taken, whether it was in college days, whether it was in school days, whether in work, if they're working, if they have taken some leadership role, whether they have created any impact. Now, it need not be that a person should have taken some leadership position. It can be also that person has created some impact. The person has taken some initiatives and created an impact in their surroundings. So any impact, any leadership trait the person shows, we try to take that piece of information, and that helps us to assess the capability of that individual. So that's the second aspect that we're looking at: leadership impact, the leadership traits, leadership exposure the person has, and that goes a long way in making the application strong. And the third thing that we're looking at is uniqueness, because we believe peer learning is an important component of MBA program. Now, MBA is the only program where you have students coming from different background. We have students from engineer, we have students from non-engineer, we have students from healthcare background. From different background, people come and they study in the classroom, and that way they not only learn from whatever is taught in the classroom, but they also learn whatever when they study in a group, because there's a study group of 4 to 5 members. And if that study group is diverse, then there's a strong peer learning also happening in that study group. So essentially what we're looking at is uniqueness. What is it? What kind of background the person is coming from? What is it that the person is bringing something different to that class, or bringing something different to that study group? Because that we want to develop that peer learning aspect, and that's something that's very much helpful if a student is coming from different backgrounds. So that's, if I have to summarize 3 things we look at when we evaluate application. One is your academic ability, second is your leadership impact, and third is uniqueness. And these 3 things helps us to assess the capability of the individual, and basis that we shortlist those candidates in the interview, and after the interview, the admission offer is made. So essentially, these are things that we look at while we evaluate anybody's application. Now, in terms of class profile, now we already have 2 cohorts in place. The first cohort joined in 2021, July 2021. That cohort is of 138 students. The second cohort joined last year, July 2022. That cohort is of 132. The cohort that we are trying to build, which will start in July 2023, the maximum class size will be 150. So essentially, the class is very small, which it allows us to give a lot of one-on-one attention to each student. And as I said, people come from different colleges. We have students from IITs, NITs, and other colleges, tier 1 colleges, and they are part of this cohort. So that gives you the confidence that you are part of the selected cohort that can add up to your learning while you're studying in the classroom. So, and as I said, we accept GMAT, GRE, and CAT. And if you look at our average class profile, which is there on the website, you will get to know that it's the top quality students, and that will add up to your experience once you go through this program. And that exposure will help you grow, develop as you graduate, after 2 years of program. So that's something you can find more detail about the class profile on the website. But this is a small cohort, and that small cohort allows you to develop strong connect, strong bond among each one of the student themselves, and they build lifelong relationship once they graduate and after they graduate from this program.
That's great, thank you. So you gave us some information right now, Mr. Kishore, about how students start with an application and they're shortlisted for an interview. But in depth, for anyone who's intending to apply to BITS now in the coming year, could you give us an overview of this year's application cycle? Do your cycles differ by the year, and what is the general process from step 1 to the final step?
So we are going through, I mean, we have this admission cycle, just like any, global school has a different admission cycle. We are in round 3 of admission cycle. So this admission cycle is ending on 26th of March 2023. And that's a deadline. If you have to get admission with the cohort, which is joining July 2023, which is starting July 2023, the deadline is to apply March 26, 2023. Now, it's a pretty long application. When you go through the application form, once you log into our website, from there you can click on the apply now button, and from there you can get the application form. So essentially, there are several components of the application. We look at your academics. That's one important aspect, important piece of information we ask in your application. Second important piece of information that we look at is your aptitude test score. So if you have taken GMAT or GRE in the last 5 years, or you have taken CAT exam in 2022, November 2022, then you are, of course, eligible to apply, and you can apply to get admission for the cohort joining July 2023. So that's second thing we'll look at, or we ask for that detail from the application. Third thing we look at is your extracurriculars. If you have taken some extracurricular activities in your school days, college days, or even in your surrounding neighborhood, that's something you can mention in your application. That's the third thing. Fourth thing we look at is the work experience. Now, work experience is not mandatory, but if you have any internship experience, if you have work experience, talk about that in your application, because that has certain weightages in the application. Fifth thing that we look at is your essays, because we also have 2 mandatory essays. We ask each candidate to write about themselves. We want to know more about those candidates, and we want to, and that's how we understand through the essays that we ask them to write about that in the app. So essay is another important aspect of the application. And then there's one letter recommendation. So if you have any faculty you're in touch with, or if your supervisor is there in your workplace, or if you have a business, you can take your recommendations from your customers. So that letter of recommendation also form part of the application. And final thing is the interview. Once you get shortlisted for the interview, then you have this interview by 2-member panel, where one BITSoM faculty or BITSoM senior staff members and BITS Pilani alumni, another one is BITS Pilani alumni, 2-member will take interview, and basis that once the feedback is taken, then admission offer is made. So essentially, these are different aspects of the application, different components of the application. Now, there's no one single component is critical. I mean, in fact, all different 6 components that I talked, 6 elements that I talked about, all 6 are important. And yeah, it's a holistic evaluation process, and basis that we evaluate and give an admission offer once the admission cycle gets over.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a very helpful review of the entire application process. Now I want to ask all of you, the entire team from BITS here, about placements at BITS. So I've heard from the students that everyone has found great internships and great jobs, but just to have an understanding of all of the opportunities available, because we've seen even in the students present here today, how everyone is from very different backgrounds. So after BITS, how much scope is there for a student to pursue their current industry? How much scope is there for them to switch industries after the program? What are the opportunities available? What are the current placement statistics, if those are available? And if Mr. Kishore, you could start, and then the students could follow with personal anecdotes, that would be very useful.
So we have this, we are currently in the final stages of our founding class placements, and we're expecting to complete that by next week. And once we have that, then placement report will come out. As of now, close to 85% of the class is placed, and the average CTC of the class is in the range of 23 to 24 lakhs. That's the average CTC of the class. Now you'll get to know more about this information once we release a placement report, which we expected by next week. So that's that's all. The details of this placement report you'll get to know once we release the placement report. But as of now, 85% of the class is placed, and the average CTC in the range of 23 to 24. But maybe I can request each one of our students to share the experience, which industry they came from, and what was the experience during these 2 years, and which industry they are going. Probably that can give us some example of kind of career they have shifted after they graduate with this program. So maybe Vivek, you may want to start with, and then followed by Shreya and Nikhil.
Okay. So I joined BITSoM as a fresher and I did not have any work ex. For me, getting the summer internship was very important because that was the first time I would have an exposure to, say, a workplace. And there at LTI as digital consultant, many of the WOW courses actually helped me because there we needed to make client presentations, make PPTs to present a solution to the client, assess the companies, and uh, give some impact on how could LTI help them. So all the things that we learned at BITSOM helped me there. And after that, for the final placements, I had a case group with 3-4 people. I was targeting consulting, so I had a case group, and we used to practice cases from various case books, say IIMs, ISB. There was our own case book as well. But so based on that, we used to do 3 to 4 cases every day. We used to get feedback from each other. So some of my friends used to give me feedback. I used to give them feedback, and through that feedback we used to develop ourselves and prepare for the final placement. And that's how I got placed into a strategy consulting firm, that is MXP Consulting. So that was my journey, and maybe Shreya and Nikhil can share their own.
Right, yeah. So I come from an architecture background, and even technically I'm a fresher, so I do not have any work experience before joining. But over these 2 years, I mean, I would say that the opportunities are ample, and it's up to you what you're going to do with it at the end of the day. 'Cause not just in terms of course, there are going to be companies which are going to come, and you have to choose from between finance, marketing, general management, consulting, all of these options. It's also the faculties who come in here. Each of them offers very good expertise in their particular field. And there was something known as design thinking, basically, which I was introduced to at the end of my first year. It was taught by our own dean, Professor Banerjee. And I think through this, I started thinking about, okay, maybe this is the space I want to be in. I was able to use a lot of those elements and a lot of things that I learned in my internship as well. And I think that is probably what worked out really well for me during this course of 2 months. And post that, I think over the last 1 year, so I had a PPO in hand. And thankfully, I was probably able to help my peers and everyone else also with their process for the placements, be it helping out with interviews or helping out with cases, or even like just gathering data and kind of summarizing it, making it cohesive for everyone to be able to use later on, like right now during the final placement process. So it's not going to be a dearth of opportunities, is what I think, but it is going to be at the end of the day about how much you can seize and what can you really do with it.
Yeah, so coming to my experience, I have 4 years of experience as a consultant. But many would think that once you have worked in consulting, it's easy to get into the consulting post MBA, but that's not the reality, because the post MBA consulting interviews and everything is very different from what the typical UG interviews are. It's all case based, and a lot of stress test would be done, and all this is completely different. So to help me out on all this, apart from the resources, there were clubs which have actively formulated various materials, various preparation materials, and we had committees in place for hosting different activities, and we had peer interviews also. So we divided the students into various groups, into a batch of 3 or 4 students, and they were given instructions on how to prepare on each of these case related interviews, marketing related interviews. And also we also received a huge support from the college, and so we had close to multiple mock interviews stretched over 5 to 6 months span. So these sessions included what kind of field you need to get into, and resume preparations, followed by mock interviews. So it's a complete package that was planned, for us to get acclimatized to these interviews, how these interviews are going to happen. So I feel all these have really helped me in cracking my interviews. So I mean, in the beginning during my summer internships, I didn't know what a case study was, how a case interview was going to happen. But these sessions have created a direction, have given me a direction in which I'll have to prepare and progress. So, and I finally got my preference, that was consulting again. So I got into consulting during my final placements.
Wow, congratulations. And congratulations to all the students here. It is becoming evident over the course of this session that BITS has really set up all of its students for success. And it has participated in every step to ensure that students are placed in industries of their liking. And it is also becoming apparent that the students at BITS are setting the school up for success, because I mean, I think it takes a very strong founding badge to start an institution, and it seems like BITS is also heading for a lot of upcoming applications. I think it's going to be very popular. So talking about incoming applications and BITS becoming a very massive MBA program in India in the coming years, I wanted to shift the conversation and ask about financial aids, because many students are going to apply. So if you could discuss tuition and the opportunities for getting funding to attend BITS so that it can be accessible to everyone. Yes, please help us understand these opportunities, Mr. Kishore.
So we do offer financial aid, the different kind of, so one is of course through scholarship and second is of course through bank loans. These two different kind of financial aid we provide. Now let me talk about scholarship. Now we have three different kind of scholarship. One is merit scholarship, second is women's scholarship, and third is merit cum need scholarship. Now merit scholarship is, as the name suggests, if you're on the top of the merit list. So let's say once you apply and once you're made the admission offer, and once the entire admission offer is made, if you're on the top of the merit list, then you get merit scholarship. Now merit scholarship percentage is in the range of 50% to 100%, and people do get that scholarship. They've got in the first year and they've got the second year, both years. So that's one kind of scholarship. Then second, we have this women's scholarship to promote gender diversity in the classroom. We encourage women candidates to apply, and then we give them scholarships so that they become part of the program. So that's something, again, any women candidates who apply to the program, they become eligible to get the women's scholarship. Now, again, the percentage of scholarship that they get ranges from 50% to 80% to women's scholarships. Mm-hmm. That's another category of a scholarship that we provide to our students. And then the third is merit cum need scholarship. Now, for merit cum need scholarship, one has to prove that they are financially not capable, they're financially not strong. So essentially what we ask them is that if their family income or if their annual income is less than 18 lakh rupees, then they're eligible to apply for merit cum need scholarships. So in the application form, we ask the question, are you seeking scholarship? And if they mention yes, and if their family income is less than 18 lakh, then they have to justify why they are looking for merit cum need scholarship. Basically, there's an essay, and once they give their explanation that why they are looking for scholarship, then they become eligible to get merit cum need scholarship. Now, once they apply, it doesn't mean that everybody gets scholarship. Of course, where they stand in the merit list basis that scholarship is given. So even merit cum need scholarship, the scholarship ranges from 40% to 80%, and that's how so overall around 20 to 25% of the cohort get some kind of scholarship, whether it can be merit cum need scholarships or women's scholarship or merit scholarships. So all these three different kind of scholarship is given to our students, and that helps them meet the expenses of this program, which is close to 26 lakh for the cohort joining 2023. So that's scholarship. And then we also have financial aid in the sense that people who are not able to get scholarship, we have tied up with few banks. These banks are like SBI or ICICI, HDFC, Axis Bank. All those banks we have tied up with, and they can provide loans to our students just with the basis of getting an admit offer from BITSoM, and they offer rate of interest and very attractive rate. So I've not seen anybody who's not getting loan from any of these colleges, any of these banks that we have tied up with. A lot of people go for loans from SBI, and we have connect with SBI banks, and we can provide that connect, and then SBI person can provide all the details, what all documents they need to submit, and basis that they can get 100% loan for the for the program. So that's something we also help candidates get those financial aid through bank loans. So essentially, two ways of getting scholarship. One is scholarship. Two ways of getting financial aid. One is, of course, scholarship, and second is education loans. And through the banks that we have tied up with, we encourage people to reach out to us, and we then connect them with these banks that we have tied up with, and they can offer them loans just on the basis of admit offer that they got from BITSoM.
Okay, that's really reassuring. Thank you, Mr. Kishore, for that overview of the financial aid and scholarship opportunities at BITS. So it sounds like a school for everyone. Now we are towards the end of our session, and we've received multiple questions from our audience. I think some we've answered through the course of our discussion, like, do the past class profiles include placement data? So as Mr. Kishore shared, by next week around, the complete placement data for this batch of BITS should be up on their website. That's very exciting for all the students who are intending to apply this year. And one question we have that we haven't really gotten to is, how is the BITSoM program different from other global programs? So I think with this, it'd be nice if Mr. Kishore, you can take this question as well as one of your students. That'll help us get multiple perspectives.
So the philosophy of BITSoM is that, when BITS Pilani was thinking of launching this program, so basically the need was to offer global education, global quality learning to our students, because we know that a lot of students they take GMAT or GRE, they want to study abroad, and then they come back because Indian economy is strong, and they find a lot of opportunities in India, and that's why they study abroad and then they come back. The reason they study, go abroad to study, because they don't find enough quality education in India, and the competition is intense, in which good colleges are there in India. There's an immense need of quality education in India. And with that thought, with that need, BITSoM came into the existence because we felt that we can offer quality education in India at Indian price. So in a way, you're getting global education, but at Indian price, which is like, that's a strong value proposition, because most of the faculty comes from different B schools. So we have faculty from Wharton Business School coming at BITSoM and teaching our students. We have faculty from Kellogg, we have faculty from NYU Stern. So essentially, people go outside India to study from those top quality faculty, but the same faculty coming to India and they're teaching a student. So that's something they're getting global quality education at Indian price, and that's, I would say, the different biggest difference that BITSoM education is offering as compared to other global B school program that is there across the world. So and of course, as we are progressing, you will be getting more faculty coming from different B schools, and that way that will add up to the quality of this MBA program.
Thank you. Perhaps, Shreya, please tell us.
Yeah, sure. So I actually wanted to add that BITSoM, in a way, I feel I also, was someone who, I had probably all my friends have gone abroad, and I'm probably one of the few who are like staying back in India. But at no point did I ever feel like I was missing out on anything. And especially when BITSoM came by as an opportunity, it just felt like too good to be true. And honestly, now that I'm 2 years into it, I can't thank like anyone like BITSoM enough, or like my luck or God enough, honestly, even that way, because we've had the best of the handpicked faculty from literally all over the world. So like like Narottam said, it was people from Wharton, from NUS, from LBS, Kellogg's, NYU Stern, and literally handpicked faculty where each and every day going to class is something you're really excited about, because there's something new that you're going to learn. And all of this while being very, very contextualized to India. So while you're learning a lot of global things, you're understanding how things are functioning in different parts, you're also at the same time not disconnected from what is happening in India, in Bombay, in everything areas around you. And like our electives, which is like the WOW, which we have along with our core, is also that majorly we have a lot of Indian faculties who are coming in there. So I feel like there's a really good balance. It's very practical. And since I came from an architecture background, I was not very sure if I was ready for a completely theoretical study, which I would have to go through. But honestly, MBA over here is a lot more about how you can actually hit the ground running and you're prepared to like face everything. all thanks to the faculties that we've had over the course of these 2 years. So in that sense, we're really lucky. And one more thing was that we went to London Business School as a part of a 2-week immersion. So some of us were there, and I would say we did get to learn from all the faculties over there as well. So it was a 2-week course where every single day we were covering a different subject through the professors who were teaching over there. And I think while I definitely enjoyed the experience, I am not, in no way do I feel like, oh my God, I should have gone there and not stayed here, because I think staying back in India, while being quite close to my family, I've been able to get an experience which is truly global in every sense.
That's really nice. Thank you so much. I have actually another question for the students. So we've received this in our chat box again, and that is, what is the classroom strength? So I understand that the strength of the batch till now has been an average of around 150 students, but in your courses and your separate modules, what do the strengths look like? And yeah.
So in the year one, it's going to be like 2 sections. So we have 65 in each class. And coming to the, so that way, what happens is that professors can actually, give proper attention to the students. Also, at the same time, students will be able to clear their concerns or queries very easily. So since it's a small class, everyone will be able to pay attention and then get their concerns clarified. And coming to the second year, again, it gets split into different sections based on your preference of specialization. If I'm a finance specialization, then I get divided into finance courses. So that again leads to 40 to 50 students per batch, and then marketing 40 to 50. And then if there is any other course, then it gets simultaneously split. So that way, all the students get a very good opportunity to interact with their peers as well as with the professor. So that's a division of our classes.
Okay, great. That's really helpful to know. Thank you, Nikhil. And right before we end our session, I will ask one very specific question from our chat box, and I'll ask Mr. Kishore, what kind of opportunities somebody from the finance background will get after doing an MBA at BITSoM?
Well, I mean, our students can talk about like finance options that they would have gone through that. But we have, for the founding class that are graduating, we have students going to banking, in a VC firm, PE firm, and even investment banking. They have got the job over there. So details, I can definitely share that, but I mean, I have to wait for the placement report to come out, and you will find that. But maybe Shreya, Vivek, Nikhil, if you have any details about finance job that people have got, maybe you can share that.
Yeah. So there are basically, if you're coming from a finance background, there are usually people go for 2 pathways. One is the consulting background, one is consulting, the next one would be the finance. So here, coming to consulting, we had all the top consulting companies, MBBs as well as Big Four. And we had niche consulting, boutique consulting like ADL and AT Kearney. And coming to the finance, we had like Narottam sir mentioned, we had people getting into banking, PE, VC, as well as IB roles. And, we can, I'm pretty sure that so eventually we would get more companies and more roles in the finance.
Certainly. So it's great to see that students from the industry can grow within that industry, and that there are also abundant finance opportunities for people to switch to from other backgrounds. So that's all of this has been extremely helpful. Thank you so much, Mr. Kishore, Shreya, Vivek, and Nikhil, for your patience and your very comprehensive answers. The thought you have put into telling and sharing the details of your life at BITS and your work at BITS has, I think, helped all of us present here make some decisions about applying to BITS and about joining BITS, and also given us a great insight into the growing world of business programs and B schools in India, and how we are becoming competitors of global programs now. So this has been a very, very helpful session. To summarize, for anyone who joined midway, we spoke about everyone's typical day at BITS, which includes going for classes and coming home to do club activities and interacting with their peers, and then also taking time aside to do your own preparation for the next day at college. And then we also discussed financial aid and scholarship opportunities, of which there are abundant. There are so many scholarships that promote diversity, such as women's scholarships. And there are many tie-ups that BITS has with banks to enable students to take loans in case they would really like to attend the program but can't immediately afford it. We also talked about global opportunities available at BITS, such as the London Business School Immersion Program. We spoke about internships, of which there are so many. All of the students present with us today have had internships. Many of those internships have helped the students find their career for the next couple of years. And overall, we've come to know that the BITS community is thriving and it is full of really passionate and driven individuals. And it seems like there are always opportunities available for students at BITS, whether it is through the school or through each other. And if anyone has any final questions to ask our team before we say goodbye, you can even raise your hand now, or you could put it in the chat box. I'll just wait for 30 seconds to see if anyone has anything to ask. And if they don't, then I thank all of our audience also for being very patient listeners and for engaging with us today. And I will take the liberty to say that if you have any more questions, please reach out to Mr. Kishore. And I hope that the students are also willing to be reached out to. I'm sure you can find them on the internet and ask any questions that will help you apply to BITS or help you make a decision about attending the school.
Yeah, I mean, I would say feel free connecting with me on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me through LinkedIn. And I'll be happy to have a discussion with you and address any questions, any concerns you have with regard to this MBA program.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kishore. And thank you so much, Shreya, Vivek, and Nikhil, for joining us today. I think we can close the session now, and we've learned a lot, and we will stay in touch.
Thank you, Varnika. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you
Thank
for joining the session. Thank you.
Thank